Welcome to the One Mindful Minute, your very oasis of daily well being in the busy world. You may already know you have the power to transform your world, but have you fully tapped into it? In this podcast, I'll share how to unlock the power to enhance your life through the art of living well. With insightful interviews and guided practices, we'll uncover the secrets to inner calm and wellness. It is time to tune in and transform.
Hey, welcome back to this episode. I actually have Vicki back again. Yay! This time we have her live in person, really up close. So we have to take advantage of this and actually do this episode. It's a special episode that, probably not going to happen again anytime soon.
We couldn't miss out on this opportunity.
Yes.
Yeah.
So first, I gotta mention something a little bit important. This episode is brought to you by Head to Heart Wellness, your ultimate wellness partner for employees and organization. And now we can start. So Vicki, it's really cool that you actually here in my house. So
Thank you so much for having me, Fawn.
after all this time of your traveling, and what are you doing now? Why don't you share with us? Fill us in a little bit on your journey after what we did that episode in October.
Yeah. So the fall time last year. Since the fall, a lot has changed in my life. I am leaving the Midwest. I think the biggest journey of all right now is finding a city that I want to be living in. I set out recently that, I've been nomadic now the last 3 years. I am ready to put some roots down, and I took these next 6 weeks. So from March until May 1st, I'm going to travel from like Tucson and kind of up the West Coast, all the way from Tucson to Portland. And I'm going to pick a city to be living in by mid-May of this year. It's coming up soon.
Wow, that's really a lot of pressure. You have to utilize your time like within what certain amount of time, right? Your decision have to be made very soon, sooner than later.
Yeah.
And can you see we have a little bit of a challenge with our mic because we want to make sure you can hear us really well with good quality sound. So we're like leaning in. So, okay. So how many cities have you visited so far on this trip?
So far on this trip, we've been to, I don't know, maybe like 5 or 6 cities, but I've kind of narrowed it down, and I'm going based on feeling. So Tucson was our first stop. I was in Phoenix after that, San Diego, LA, Long Beach, and like different parts of LA. And now here I'm in San Francisco, and I'm going up north to Portland. So yeah, a handful of cities. I don't really know. Yeah. A handful of cities.
So far, have you had your favorite city yet?
I have.
Okay. Wait. Let me stop you. Cut out the living costs in the area. So put that aside and just overall, setting of the city, the weather and the food and whatever you need in order to make your decision for this living situation.
I really thought I was going to be like at home in Arizona, but I was surprised when I went there. I did not feel it. It didn't feel like home for me. So I think right now I'm vibing the Long Beach, LA area. And honestly, it's not really about the location. It's more about the people, like the support that I feel. So, and for me, people makes that. I think there is just such a lovely feeling with connecting to people. And I do have quite a bit of support in the LA area with my daughter's family being there and my some really close friends. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So you still have a few more destinations that you will be stopping. And
Yeah. Yeah.
reconsidering your decision of where that will be. So now, while you are on the road, how do you make this road trip more mindful? Because like sometimes you probably like hit some challenges of, the weather, the food, or people that you
Yeah.
might not like.
Yeah.
So how do you make this trip enjoyable more enjoyable and more mindful is the word that I want to use, but is I'm not sure if this is probably the right description, but I'll let you share.
Yeah. I mean, we have hit different bumps along the road. I'm with my cousin on this road trip.
She's right over there.
She's joining me for this leg of my journey. And we've come across some sketchy situations with like parking and staying in places where maybe you shouldn't be parked. And there is signs. It's like, no parking overnight. And we are just so tired. So we're sleeping in the minivan right now. And we've created this really cool like bunk bed situation where there's like one bunk bed like on top of the other. It's pretty unique and it gives us storage. It's perfect for us. But I think what I've come across, like what really is helping me is to let go of judgment of it. And not the typical term of judgment, but letting go of any kind of desired outcome or thought of what it would be. And I think if you have the ability to sit comfortably with yourself, which I'm so grateful I learned this past year, to trust yourself, then you can be anywhere and it doesn't matter, if it went how you thought it would, or, you don't really like someone. You can just make it how you want it to be by having no judgment of the situation and just moving into making it what you want it to be. So if, for instance, if there's a person that you're not vibing, then, either find a way to make it fun for yourself, like, hey, I think I've learned a lot about you. Why don't you ask me a question now? Like a lot of people don't think to say stuff like that, but I totally have learned to do that. And that makes the situation so much better to be with people who are just talking about themselves, which I do love learning and connecting with people that way, but it's all in balance. We did have food poisoning in San Diego. There was a situation where I just ate something off and it was not pretty. It was just, coming out both ends. So in that moment, you just have to accept a lot of acceptance in where you're at. I think the mindfulness part really comes with practicing presence of mind and acceptance.
Yeah. I think you just nailed it, because if you are thinking about just destination, right? And or worry about like when you got sick, then you worry about, okay, where is this going to go? And is this going to happen again? Or, then you starting to have worries and anxiety comes after, right? So, and then you starting to think that, am I safe? Like, am I going to be safe? Because we are wired to be safe and to always, fight for our survival in some way. So, and our bodies want to stay in comfort zone, and our mind too, right? So the minute we are getting out of our comfort zone, and fear is just kicked in, right? Or anxiety and then fear, and that just stopping us from moving forward, basically. But what you did was to manage to stay in the present moment and just, like you said, I just learned a lot about you. Why don't you ask me a question or something? So we can make this conversation much more fun. So that's totally, totally something that we can all incorporate into our daily life, really, like at work. Because assuming most of my listeners are, employees and some are entrepreneurs, we can use that at work. We can use that technique all the time at home too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when your partner come home, you don't want to just say, my day wasn't that good. You don't want to start a conversation like that. You might want to say, hey, how was your day? And then just listen and see where this is going, or maybe you can help the person first, right? So it's give and takes in any relationship, even with stranger. You don't want to just dump anything on anyone really, right?
Yeah, no, that's actually a really good point, because I think it comes with like being identified. Like, what are you identified with? Are you identified with what happened like within the last 24 hours, like so deeply that you have to like continue to bring that with you in each new moment? Or could you approach like the situation with a little bit more curiosity? Like, you know, what would happen if I start telling a different narrative? What would happen if I become curious about my partner's day instead of focusing on my own and being identified with that? So, allowing yourself to have a new identity in each moment, I think, would be an excellent start to having a more mindful moment, having a more mindful life. Yeah.
Totally. I agree with that. And now, because you have been on the road, how do you can't cook, or maybe even cooking in the car. I don't know if you have some camping gears in there. How are you being mindful with your eating, your diet, and bathroom situation? But you're staying at a hotel now, so you're good with that for now.
This is our first hotel of our trip, and we've been on the road now for about 3 weeks. And 3 weeks. That's a great question. It's not easy. I think there's a lot of romanticism with van lifing, right?
Oh yeah, totally.
But especially if you're living in a van like ours, we don't have any power. We don't have any facilities such as toilets or showers. It's just literally a minivan with a freaking cot and like a table that I'm sleeping on. Like, that's what it is. So it's very low maintenance. Let's see. The question was, how do I deal with all of that?
Yeah, no cooking. You're just eating restaurants' food, right? You can't prepare it yourself. So what's your secret to keeping healthy all this time?
Yeah. I think a lot of it has to do, it's so underrated, but sleep quality. You do have to focus on that. So prioritizing that, even if you need to pull over and sleep, like get a few hours of sleep, nap like during the day. I also think it comes to stress, because we do create a lot of stress in our mind, depending on how we want to choose to see something. And yeah, there is a lot of eating out. So not like a ton of high quality vegetables and fruits. And luckily, we do maintain some level of nutrition with protein shakes and getting more like extra powdered greens in that are freeze dried, or just having like extra immune boosting products that will help kind of like move our digestive tract a little bit, as well as giving some level of nutrition. So that part does help. But the bathroom situation, I think I'm more used to like camping style and like roughing it, but my cousin is not. She really loves having a toilet around. And that could
I do too. I have to say, I don't know how she does it, but I was fantasizing about the van life until, I think about the bathroom situation. We were just talking about this prior to recording this show. I'll let you finish.
Yeah. So you do have to stop quite often when you need to use the restroom. But it helps like parking in a spot where you have access to a restroom all night, because then you can go at night before sleep and then in the morning. I do have a bucket in the van. Like, it's like a sealed bucket with a lid, and I have like human composting bags, but we have not used it this trip. My cousin does not really care to explore that territory. And I don't blame her. I think I probably would, but because we stop at the restroom for her more often, I just use the restroom more. And Yeah, I mean, it is hard like cooking. We do have a little jet boil, which is a really good brand of like it boils water very quickly and it's quite efficient. So it's like a little camping stove that's like all encompassed with this huge can attached to it. So it boils water. So we can have hot tea. We can do like instant noodles, which we've done twice now. It's not, and I don't say that's not our main mode of cooking, but we'll do like apples in the car, and we have other like romaine lettuce. It lasts for a while. We'll just eat it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Then that means you have to pull over somewhere to clean the veggies, right? And
Yeah.
then you got to prep it.
You just eat it.
Oh,
Like you
straight
just
up?
eat it straight up.
Okay.
Yeah.
No dressing, nothing.
Nah.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah. It's pretty low maintenance. We do have a 5-gallon bucket, a 5-gallon jug of water with like a hand pump, like a mechanical or manual hand pump attached to it. So we have plenty of water all the time. Yeah.
Okay, next question. Beside the bathroom, now the shower situation. How do you manage your shower on the road all this time with sleeping in the van? I'm sure a lot of listener out there will probably be curious to know this part, right? I mean, whether you like to take a shower or not, you have to do that in order to be in the public or
Yeah.
in our, social life here.
Yeah. Yeah. So my cousin right now has a membership at a gym, which it's a single membership. It's not like a family pass. And I have a membership too, but I paused mine just because I'm not working out right now. I chose to pause my membership. So she does go to the gym and she'll work out and then she can get a shower. One time though, I did just walk in, like she told me when she was going to be done with her workout, and I needed a shower desperately. It was like 5 days since I had showered. And I was like, all right, your gym class ends like now, like at 12. She's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. So I put the phone down. I just walked in and the coaches, like the people there at the front desk were like, hey, can I help you? And I'm like, I'm with my cousin. I'm just picking her up. And they're like, okay. And then she's like just all sweaty and she's like grabbing her stuff and she's like, okay. And like we both just walked into the bathroom and started showering. I'm sure it looked quite funny because I wasn't even working out and I just walked in and showered.
I'm sure nobody could care if you're taking a shower at the gym or not.
Yeah.
Like or if you even take a class or not, right? You can be walking in there just to use the bathroom, right? They don't tell people to go away just because you want to use the bathroom.
I don't think so. Yeah, it just looked funny, but I walked in, yeah. Other times, let's see, when have we showered? Just friends' houses, or there is the option for truck stops. We haven't done that yet, but they do have truck stop showers. And honestly, if worse comes to worse, you could just find a beach like up and down the coast of California, and they have showers there.
They do.
They do have their free showers.
Yeah.
It's cold, but it's a free
it's
shower.
cold shower. But wake you up really quickly.
Yeah. 2 nights ago, we did stay at a hot spring and we paid like a camping pass. So it was going to be $50 for a day pass to go into the hot spring. But instead we paid $75 for the camping portion. And it included the day pass. Actually, it included like not just a day pass, like night pass, morning pass. So we can go twice to the hot spring. And they had a lot of showers are available and bathrooms.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really nice. Do you share all of these photos on your Instagram?
Not all of them, but
not this photo, but this, partially,
the journey.
Whatever it is of this journey. Yeah. Where you actually park, like the hot spring. I would be taking some videos and some photos there.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we got the parking and it was a really cute, quaint campsite with like a lot of overhead shade from the trees, which was really nice because it was quite hot. But then there were a lot of birds, which the beautiful sound of the birds was like quiet and crisp and the birds. But then we did wake up with a ton of bird shit all over our car. It was really surprising. It was like really covered. So
the car needs shower too now.
Yeah, now that we did. We went to a gas station like scrubbed it, and then we went to the car wash twice. I did tell the attendant, I'm like, listen, I need this bird poop to come off. And he said, you can go through twice. I'm like, perfect. Sign me up. Let's go.
Well, that was really nice of the guy to actually accommodate that.
It was so nice.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever asked the car wash people if I can go through it again.
Yeah.
Like if, hey, that didn't come out clean.
Yeah.
They'll be like, hey, pay extra.
Well, I told him ahead, and he didn't speak English, but I mean, we were speaking in broken Spanish, and he was so nice. He was like, yeah, you can wash it twice. I said, thank you so much. So we've been encountering a lot of really nice, generous people, like a lot of accommodating behaviors and personalities. It was so nice.
I bet. That's a beautiful part of meeting new people, being in new places, and it just opens you up to learn about yourself, really, right?
Yeah, we've come across quite a few people who are just people you would never meet. And I think that part is really lovely because you don't know who you're going to connect with until you like put yourself out there and get out there. And yeah, just at the hot spring that I was talking about, there was this lovely gentleman, and he was like, we ran out of water that one night. I say like, we're fine with their 5 gallons, but we like drank all the 5 gallons and we're like, shoot, we need more water. And he's like, I have an extra gallon, and let me go get it for you. And he just brought this brand new gallon of water to us, and it was so nice. And yeah.
And you didn't feel funny drinking that water?
Not at all. No.
and what I mean with feeling funny, it's like, is there something
something in the water?
Yeah. No. Like some little extra happy water or whatever.
No, it was like sealed. It was like brand new. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, it was really, really fine. Yeah.
That's really thoughtful.
It was so thoughtful.
Yeah. Wow. What else do I want to ask you about this journey beside what I've already been asking is probably, now that I'm thinking, is probably how do you fit your meditation practice? Because you do have mindfulness practice going on during this time with eating, sleeping, and bathroom ing. So now with the meditation, do you have a regular time that you set aside from driving to actually sit with closed eyes, or maybe you meditate with open eyes, or how do you fit that in?
Yeah, I actually have stepped away from a more rigid schedule of meditating regularly, and I want to be there. I want to get back to it. I know it's good for me. But right now, I am I just go through my day and I remember what it's like being connected to this source, I remember what it's like. And I know that feeling, like when I am not thinking and I'm not attached and I'm just like, it's this person, this not even a person, I'm not even identified with me. I just am being. So I do recognize that, and I access that throughout the day as I'm driving or when I'm sitting there, or it's usually comes in the form of like when people talk to me. I really like, I don't know, I can just like, I can be here, and then I can kind of like focus on the openness of space. It's like I'm able to do both. So that has kind of been the challenge for me. And I heard about that from somebody else that they did that. So I started incorporating that more, and I didn't think it was possible, but it is possible. And I do feel that connection. I do feel like I am being like really mindful of who I am and actively participating in creating the life that I want to. At the same time, not totally being rigid about my meditation. Yeah. And I think that's kind of an art form in itself for me, is like being flexible with with that part of me, knowing that I'm not like meditating and allowing myself like the grace to be in that state for now.
Actually, I think you are meditating, open eyes meditating, right? Because they do said, or at least one of my teachers said, if you can't do it with eyes open, do you think you're going to be able to do it with eyes closed, right? When you're meditating, and people seem to think if you are trying to close your eyes and you think you're going to get away from your problems by meditating, that's not what meditation is all about. So
Never thought about that. Like, you're saying that if you can't meditate with your eyes open, what makes you think you're going to be able to do it with your eyes closed?
yeah.
Yeah, that's powerful. Like, I don't know. I felt like I started with my eyes closed, but I was like really, really focusing. It took me a long time, many months. I was like, am I doing it? Like, but that was years ago, like 2 years ago. Now, yeah, that's really cool. I mean, I'm doing it now, I guess.
Yeah, because, okay, so you have shared with me that you met someone who actually offered hypnotherapy, right?
Yeah.
So I want to bring a little bit of awareness to hypnotherapy, which I just had a conversation with someone in the last episode about, not last, but with one of my guests in the past episode, is that hypnotherapy is another form of meditation, except you being guided, right? Just like guided meditation.
Yeah.
And now, if you were to do a self hypnotherapy, then you could do it with eyes closed, or you could do it with eyes open as well. So that's another form of meditation, because you are focusing on, you pick your point of focus, right? You pick something to focus on. That's, you already working on concentration, which is something you're meditating on. And a lot of people like to use something. Have you ever asked someone to make a decision and they said, I have to meditate on this?
Yes.
It's actually not a meditation.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I was really confused when that person said that. Yeah.
So, okay, hopefully this can help bring some light to that definition of meditation and the way you've been practicing. Like, you're driving on the road on this road trip of yours is another way of meditating while your eyes are open, as long as your mind is not exactly thinking about, what am I going to have for dinner? Where are we going to stop? And then you start planning things. So that's not exactly meditation. But if you just focus on the road, just look at the road ahead of you, right?
Yeah.
Then you are meditating with your eyes open.
Yeah.
Because in hypnotherapy, they do say, like, sometimes you being hypnotized by the road, like, especially if you already know the road and you drive from home to the gym. You've done that like so many times. You don't even know, like, oh, I'm already at the gym. Like, I don't even know I took the turn. I make a left here. I go straight there, right? You just, all of a sudden you're at the gym. And that's like, you hypnotize yourself, right? So that's another, like, that's not exactly meditating, because you're not focusing. You just hypnotize yourself all the way to the gym. That's it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but what you did on the road is focusing on driving. You just like, road, or maybe you just like, no road. I just want to talk to Carol. What music can we play? And then you're focusing on like choosing the song, or some people I met at the meditation retreat, I think, or on vacation somewhere, I think. She was sharing, she said she loves driving. I'm like, why do you love driving? She said, because it's my only time that I could watch my YouTube movies or whatever. And I'm like, you do what?
Yeah, wow.
You're a multi-talent person. Like, I can't be like watching, movie and trying to drive.
Yeah.
That's a next level ability there.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Right?
Yeah.
I've
heard
that's
of people doing
that's
that.
not meditation.
Yeah, no.
So it's not all road trip are created equal. Basically, you can still be meditating like you've done partially, even though you think you are not doing it, but you actually have done some part of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like being comfortable in being there now.
Mm.
And yeah, totally. I get that because, especially, in my past, I was a trained professional driver where you drive hundreds of thousands of miles in the matter of like a year. It's very easy to use driving as meditation. It becomes very second nature to you. But
Mm-hmm.
I would say, like, I think if some people don't understand that, I've heard of like art, like you're just kind of in that flow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't know that time and space exists. You're just like doing the art, you're drawing, you're coloring, you're crafting. That is also like that form of flow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, totally. So I have been asked by a friend who want to introduce meditation to her children who are really young. One is 4 and one is 3.
Oh wow.
And yeah, really young. So she was asking what form of meditation or how can she teach meditation to her young children, and I suggested like drawing,
Yeah.
coloring. So when you mention art, right, I thought about that, so I have to share that.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
such a good suggestion. And I'm like not really a mom at all.
We don't have to all be a mom.
Yeah, but like I wouldn't think that. That's a really good suggestion though. Yeah.
Yeah, just a little tip for adults as well. If you want to start, baby step, that's definitely a baby step to start sitting down and, color with your kids maybe,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so back to your road trip journey. Now, what would you recommend someone who wants to take a little time, maybe not as long as you've been doing, to take a quality road trip? What would you have? What
Quality
would you
road
have
trip.
for them? What would you suggest? Like, what would be like number one thing and number 10? Like, what's the most important thing that one can do on the road to be more mindful, to enjoy the road trip, get the most out of the road trip
Hmm.
experience?
Well, if you're going to be, it just depends on the style of road trip that somebody wants to take. For me, I prioritize being in a place where I can sleep as well, like a vehicle that you can sleep in. I've heard of people sleeping in Priuses and like that they really really like it. No, seriously, because you can run the vehicle of a Prius and like have a temperature controlled climate for I think 1 gallon of gas for 8 hours in a Prius. Whereas, if I do that in my minivan, it's 1 gallon of gas for every hour. Yeah,
Whoa.
and it's also not safe with the carbon monoxide, but
Right, right.
like you can have a temperature controlled environment in a Prius and do that. But it just depends. Like I want to have a place where I can lay down, so that for me is definitely number one. And then the window coverings, because I like to have my privacy. I think everybody loves
Mm.
some sort of form of privacy. So, and I covered, my window coverings with black tape. So you look at it and it looks like there's like nothing in it. So it's very private. I also really love water. So I mentioned that 5 gallon water. I can't live without water and I'd feel unsafe without a lot of water. So I like that. And then you do want to have a good like charging brick or some way to charge your devices in the evening if you're not going to be driving all day the next day. Obviously, if you're driving, you have the ability to plug your phone in and charge. But if you're going to be like driving one day and then adventuring 2 days, like hiking around and staying in one location, you need to have some way to charge your device. And I would say, like, mindfulness, though, it is helpful to focus on a routine. I don't always do this, but you do like, you want to prioritize like brushing your teeth.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like little things like that. It's easy to not do when you're so tired and like you just want to pull over and you finally found a spot or yeah. So I don't want to sit there and like open my door or open my window and like pour water on my toothbrush. So a spray bottle is like really helpful for me
Mm.
and like anchoring that act of brushing your teeth, like, immediately like pulling over, or like turning off your vehicle, or as you put on like your pajamas or take off your shoes, like something that you would normally do, and then you anchor that habit into each other. But the mindfulness, I don't do it every day, but I do love having a journal with me and doing like a gratitude, daily gratitude. It's probably weekly for me, but there are spurts where I go every day and I'll do a gratitude journaling. I feel like too, I feel like this is, road trips are not something that you experience all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to be doing it for any length of time, 1 week to anything longer, then yeah, why wouldn't you log it? And if journaling's not your thing, voice recording and just keeping the audios of it and like listening to it again and just talking about where you're at in your life and your feelings and checking in with yourself, because you want to be intentional about, for me, I love being intentional about my growth. So I do want to see where my emotions are. And like, it's so silly, but I do take a selfie of myself like almost every day. I know.
It's not silly.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm glad. Like, but I take a selfie and I can see the level of like my enthusiasm in these selfies, and I'll do one every day. And I can see like, oh man, like look at this time of my life and like how not happy I was, or like look at, where I'm at, like, and I'll often be like at a relative's house or something. And I can tell like there's just, I think for somebody who doesn't always verbalize their emotions in the moment, that tool could be really helpful, to take a selfie and you can look back and like process where you're at maybe a couple days later or so. But yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's really a lot of things to consider to have a road trip. Now, okay, important question, because the moment you walked into my house, all I see is your outfit. And so if you watch this on YouTube, you're gonna see her outfit, and if you listen to this on Spotify or Apple, you might benefit from the description. So she's got this. What do you call this pants? They're like cowboy pants.
It's like faux cowboy pants. For the camera, it's like these stretchy kind of yoga pants, but they have a fringe. They have a fringe from hip to like the bottom of the ankle, and they're wide.
They are really, really like cool looking. And for someone who's being on a road trip, I'm not sure how you manage to keep up with your fashion. Like, you look better than me being at home and have all my clothes in my closet.
Oh my God, thanks. I don't know. Honestly, this year, I've been really intentional about picking pieces and adding it to my wardrobe that make me happy. And these pants were one of them. And I just wanted like a fringe moment that were that were wild and like, I don't know, it had that movement to it. And honestly, this top I work out in, so I didn't even think about my outfit. I just kind of picked two things out of my bin. I have like this plastic bin of my clothes, and it's just jumbled in there sometimes, unorganized. So I just picked two random things, and I'm like, perfect.
And you look really well put together. When you showed up, I'm like, wait, she doesn't look like she is living in the van. She looks like she just got out of a shopping spree or something, like, because you got jewelry going on, you got everything's matching with each other.
Wow.
So, and your skin is glowing for
Thank
someone
you.
who's not exactly able to cook. And had what, cup noodle?
Yeah.
A couple of times.
Yeah, cup noodles. I didn't even wash my face today. Thank you. I should have washed my face.
So your supplements must have been working for you really well. Do you have a name for the supplements? We're not trying to promote supplements, but we want you to maybe, some of you that may be curious, what supplements are you taking while you're on, a road trip instead of carry bottles and bottles of vitamins from Costco.
Yeah. So I do love these supplements so much. I started taking them last year, and it's just focusing on high quality, high nutrition in your life so that your body can heal itself. Like, that's really the secret formula, is high quality, high nutrition. With the name, I mean, you can go to my Instagram, Vicki Carey, VickIKarry. If you go to my Instagram and DM me, I don't usually give out the name of the supplements to people.
Okay.
But and that's because this style of supplements, it is a network marketing. So I won't get any benefit from people finding the name of the supplements on their own. But if you do talk to me, I'd be more than happy to jump on a call with you. And I have like my before and after photos on my Instagram. I'd be more than happy if you are interested in that, and my little blurbs that I wrote. Then we could totally hop on a Zoom or whatever, and I'll get you all the information in that moment.
All right. And what is your Instagram handle again?
Vicki Carey. So it's my first and last name, and it's Vicki with an I, and then Carey, Karry.
All right. There you have it. You be sure to go check out Vicki's Instagram. And if you have any questions with her supplements that she's been taking, she is more than happy to answer any of your questions. Yeah, reach out to her and check out her before and after photo, because when I met her in 2022, she was already good looking. But now that I see her in person again in 24 of what is this month? April.
Yeah.
So it's been quite a while since we see each other in person from the first time
Wow,
and this
2
time.
years.
Yeah.
2 years.
So she looks terrific. And better shape of body for sure. I don't want to insult anyone, and well, you especially. So, and this is her secret of, well-being.
I love that. Like, I feel so much more youthful and vibrant and energetic now that I'm 40 this year than I did in my 30s. Like, my 30s, I was very tired. I had a lot of cellulite. I wasn't happy in my own skin. And now I feel really confident and I feel really good. So
yeah, that's what life is all about. You have to be able to love the way you look, right? Be able to enjoy your life fully, really. Otherwise, why do we want to get up in the morning if we're not going to enjoy our life, right?
Yeah.
All right. I hope you enjoy this episode. And if you have any questions for us, Vicki or myself, feel free to reach out. If you like this episode, please share and like, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you.
I hope you've enjoyed this episode and inspired to take the next step in your wellness journey to building more resilient and effective days at home and at work. I want to invite you to get in touch with me to learn more about the customized wellness programs that could benefit your team, your organization, whether it be retreats, workshops, 21-day meditation challenge, you name it. Let us collaborate to supercharge your well-being today.